Thanks for listening to the Clive Barker podcast. Be sure to subscribe or follow wherever you get audio so you never miss a release. In episode 352, Jose and Ryan discuss some new Hulu Hellraiser news, as well as other Hellraiser, Nightbreed, and convention news. This episode is sponsored by Don Bertram's Celebrate Imagination. Don Bertram is a longtime friend of Clive and advocate of his art, but Don's unique and inspiring paintings are for sale, and up to 50% of the proceeds go to the Arts and Medicine program at the Texas Children's Cancer Center. Click on the side banner and follow the link to the Etsy shop to have a look. Texas friends, on Thursday, June 23rd, Don Bertram will be presenting Art as a Healing Tool at the Pearland Arts League Gallery in Pearland Town Center. Welcome, this is episode 352 of the Clive Barker podcast, and good evening, Jose.
Hey, Ryan. How are you doing today?
Well, I haven't really talked about this on Facebook at all, but our whole family has COVID right now.
Did you have it before?
No.
Okay. Wow. Damn, dude. I'm so sorry to hear that. How are you holding up?
I've been like tired and sleepy and dizzy and coughing and stuff. And Jennifer's been pretty bad too.
No, I'm so sorry. What about Joel?
He's got it also, but I don't know if he has symptoms or not.
Is he doing okay?
He says he's tired, but he always says that.
He's not coughing or anything?
No, none of that.
Okay.
He's able to like run around and stuff, so.
Oh, how many days are you guys into?
They got it on Sunday. As we're recording this, it's Thursday, and so we all took home tests, right? And they were positive. They each took 2 tests that were positive, and then I took one that was negative.
Oh, no.
But then the next day, I tried to hide for a day and a half. I hid in a bedroom and, kept away from everybody, but it didn't.
Yeah.
I got it the next day on Monday. And so I haven't been to work. We had to cancel. We were supposed to be going to visit my mom at Lake Chelan. There's this whole big family vacation thing at Lake Chelan, and Rob's going to be there, and my stepsisters and their family and stuff, and my mom and stepdad, and we just canceled. Jennifer and I and Joel just canceled the whole thing. So I'm not going out of town. I'm going to be around.
Hey, podcast listeners are in luck because now you're doing a news episode with me.
Well, I probably would have been doing it anyway. I just would have been at my mom's house doing that today.
That sucks, man. That sounds like a really fun time to have with your family, and I'm so sorry that you guys are not going to be able to join in the fun.
Well, and we looked at it, in the best case scenario, we would have been able to go like next week, like a week later, and we would have had 3 days there, and Rob would have already left because they had to leave a little early for because of his wife's Becky's work, and so I don't know. It's just like we just
luckily,
What if we make changes to the tickets and that costs money, and then we find out we can't go, and then we have to cancel last minute, and then it would be a real pain with the tickets and stuff.
That's true. Yeah. It's okay. There'll be more times.
Oh, and our cat Indy also got attacked by 3 dogs.
What?
And so we had $1,500 worth of vet bills, and he's been like hiding out inside.
That's terrible. Is he okay? Did he get stitches or something?
They had to drain out some wounds.
Oh my God!
And flush him with antibiotics and stuff. And it was like Jennifer went out because it's been hot, and it's hot at night because the sun's not going down, and so Jennifer went outside, and he kind of ran out the door with her, and this was at like 10 o'clock at night. And there was this lady walking down the road with 3 big dogs on a leash. They were kind of dragging her around. And so they kind of cornered Indy, so he got stuck under a car. He hid under a car, and then as she was dragging him away, Indy, I guess, decided that he had had enough, and he was mad, and so he ran out and he charged all 3 of those dogs.
Oh man, cats!
Yeah, and so
cats and dogs.
One of them grabbed him by his like rear haunches and started flipping him. It's a good thing you didn't grab him by the neck, and just started like flipping him upside down and swinging him around and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so Jennifer jumped over the fence and ran over there and pried Indy out of the dog's mouth and she got all scratched up from, their claws.
Oh
and
my
stuff.
God.
And the dogs
Jeez.
this other lady didn't help because the dogs knocked her down.
Right.
Yeah. So it was crazy. That was $1,000 for that emergency late night visit, and then another $500 because he was like not moving and really laggy and stuff. So we brought him back in again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been tough. We've been not wanting to. We're supposed to be giving him medicine, and like they're telling me, "Oh, Ryan, you have to do all of that because we don't want to give him COVID because you can't."
Well, you got COVID too.
Well, but at that time I was still negative.
Right.
And they're like, "Well, you can give a cat COVID, I guess." Cats.
I mean,
get it.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I think so. But I think that would be really rare. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because my cats were hanging out with me when I got COVID.
Oh.
And even though I did come with the realization that maybe you shouldn't be so close to me on my chest, cat, because I put a little mask on because of my cat while I was in bed, just so my cat could be on my chest. But then I tried, to get them out of there, but there was no way that they would just keep coming over to me. Yeah. So they did fine, but I didn't have much of a COVID anyway. So yeah.
Well, and so I had taken time off from work. And now I took off more time before because I'm not even I couldn't even go in there if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm supposed to. I mean, I'm supposed to be clear to go back to work tomorrow, but that was the start of that was one of my vacation days, or not tomorrow, Monday. I mean, but that was supposed to be one of my vacation days, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, I would probably suggest you still take your vacation just to recover and just to have some time to feel stronger.
That's what Jennifer said too.
Yeah.
I may just do that.
That sounds like a horrible time that you've been having, Ryan. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Well, the upside is I got really far in some video games and on movies and TV shows and stuff.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I watched a lot of movies when I was with COVID in bed. Some of them better than others.
I saw all of Stranger Things.
Hey,
season 5, part 1, or whatever, or 4, right?
Season 4, part 1. Yeah. An unexpected actor showed up playing a character, so that was cool.
Well, it totally makes sense because the whole season seems to be an homage to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, they even have like moments where you kind of hear that little music that da, 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 da. It's like and
it's
then
very,
in the soundtrack.
very similar,
Yeah, and then the house kind of looks like a Hellraiser house a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, it's a cool thing. I saw it also, Stranger Things 4 with Serra, and
it's interesting how far it's kind of strayed from what it started out as because. It was sort of meant to be kind of like a Steven Spielberg-ish E.T. sort of homage in a way. You know what I mean? Like
sure
80s nostalgia and stuff like that. And now it's gotten a lot more into horror, it seems like.
The kids are growing. So now, the horror has creeped in a little more into it. It got a little darker. But I think in some structural ways, it's still very much like the first season because they were also naming this monster after a monster from D&D. Yeah. This time it's a wizard, not a demogorgon.
He's a lich.
A lich, right? Yeah, lich wizard.
Vecna.
Vecna. So I don't know. It's been interesting. I want to see how that ends. I've had fun with season, Stranger Things throughout all the seasons. So some people out there don't like it too much, but it tickles my funny bone. I like it.
It's interesting that they separated this season into 2 parts, like months apart too. So all those people that are talking about quitting Netflix because it's so expensive, that's how they can hook you, I guess.
Well, Volume 2 comes on July 1st.
Is that really? Is that it? I thought it was like August.
No, I think it's July 1st. So it's like less than 4 weeks from now. Maybe it gives them a chance to digest what's going on and get people to buy more merchandise and watch the other seasons to catch up. Well,
my Candyman showed up, the 4K original 1992 Candyman.
Hey, yeah.
Showed up in the mail, so I got that and a bunch of other ones that I ordered. So
you can see all the bees in high definition.
That's right.
and the wires.
Right.
When Tony Todd crashes through the doctor's window.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
It still looks cool, even if you can see the wires.
Sure.
All of that craziness aside, we should probably move on to the news.
Yeah. There's been a lot of stuff, actually. I think we surprised each other today because we were putting news into our usual OneNote, and we came up with a lot of items.
Yeah, I mean, and it started out like, what are we going to talk about? And as you just start digging around, it's like, oh, there's a bunch of stuff to talk about.
Right on.
So, and we talked, the first one, we talked about this on our last episode, which was an audio commentary, but I wanted to put it in an official news capacity, because I think if people are skipping those, or they only listen to our news episodes, this is kind of a big one. So, the Twitter account Undercover Cine, C-I-N-E, right?
Yeah, Undercover Audience. It's at Undercover Cine. Yeah.
Yeah. They reported that there was a test screening for the new Hulu Hellraiser movie.
That's right. They announced it on the very day that it was taking place.
Yeah, and so a big part of that what people were talking about. Oh, that's amazing. There was a screening already. It must be close to done, and that's all big news. But the big takeaway for me was in this screenshot that they stuck on there. At the very bottom, it says, in this reimagining of Clive Barker's seminal Hellraiser franchise, a young woman must confront the sadistic supernatural forces behind an enigmatic puzzle box responsible for her brother's disappearance. Mm-hmm. So we got a little bit of a tidbit of the plot, right? So all those people out there saying that it's a remake. It's not exactly a remake, right? This is more like, because it's not, I mean, it doesn't have the characters.
Like a soft reboot, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, they're taking elements of Hellraiser and, from what I understand, trying to make it more true to the themes of the Hellbound heart.
Well, the characters are still related. They're still part of the same family. There's still a puzzle box. So, it's maybe the little brother fell into the hole that Frank fell and found the box and solved it. And now his sister, again, a strong female character, will have to figure out what's going on.
Well, and we kind of talked about this even from the very first casting news, right? There was a character named Riley, and we all know there's no Riley in the Hellbound Heart or Hellraiser.
Right. That's exactly it. So it looks like when you said a screenshot, it was more like a cropped image of the screening invitation. And it just said, invites you to a private screening of the upcoming feature film Hellraiser, Tuesday, May 17, 2022, showtime at 7. Please arrive no later than 6 p.m. It was done at the AMC Del Amo 18 in Torrance, California. I wonder if the crowd liked it. I mean, it's great that they're doing a test screening for this, even though it's probably just going to be on the streaming Hulu, correct?
Yeah, well, and I wonder if screenings are a requirement for the rights or to be able to make this. I don't know, because Clive Barker owns the rights, and they're making this with permission.
I think the idea is to make it admissible for nominations for awards and stuff.
Oh, that may be well, and also it being a test screening, they might be also looking for audience feedback on certain parts to see if they should go in certain directions, with the endings or whatever.
Right. In post-production, probably. There's always nowadays, these movies with the studios, they want to make sure that they make a good killing with a lot of people watching it and liking it. So we're in the age of over tweaking the movies. So I hope they don't over tweak the movies, but it's interesting that to me, the big takeaway is the movie's already done. Yeah. So now it's just a matter of when it's coming out. Is it coming out this year? Maybe around Halloween? We don't know.
And is it meant for people who've never seen the original movie or never read the book? Or is it meant for fans? Or are they going to try to, make it for everybody?
Well, it says here the age group for this movie is supposed to be 17 to 49-year-olds, according to the invitation.
I'm 1 year off from the cutoff.
Oh, no. You're 50?
I'm 48, I mean.
You're 48.
One year below,
Yeah. You'll still enjoy it. You will enjoy this movie.
all the way until all the way for 2 more years, and then I'm not allowed to like it anymore.
And another cool thing is says this film has not yet been rated, but but it is believed to be rated R. This is again from the invitation. The studio cannot, of course, guarantee the rating that the film will ultimately receive. So, hey, R rated for now, at least.
Well, and do do movies that only premiere on streaming still follow that same ratings system?
I mean, it does seem kind of useless, right?
Yeah, stuff on Netflix, they don't say it's rated R. If it's made for Netflix, they'll say like TVMA or whatever.
I'm assuming that this is eventually going to have maybe like a limited movie theater screening. I would hope so.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if it does, we all got to go see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
I'm sure it'll make a lot more money through streaming than through the movie theaters nowadays. But, speaking of seasons, Stranger Things season 4, you know how much was the budget for each of those episodes? It was $30 million per episode.
Wow.
So when you consider they did the first volume is 7 episodes, that's $210 million right there, budget.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It all went to Millie Bobby Brown's hairdresser. Shaving her head.
Oh boy. Hey, if you're in that test audience, and you want to break your NDA,
were you trying to get them in trouble?
Give us a call, tweet at us, send us an email, talk to us, send us a message through Facebook. Let us know what you thought about the movie.
Yeah.
We would love to hear it.
I like news about the movie, but I also like not getting any news and just seeing it fresh with no preconceptions about it. So I don't know.
I both love and hate leaks about things.
Yeah.
It's a love-hate relationship because I want to know, but then once I know, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. Well, and even stuff like trailers can really kind of mislead. I remember the Godzilla 2014, which I just watched on 4K recently. When that movie came out and they had that halo drop, with the people parachuting out of their helicopter onto Godzilla or whatever. And everybody was, even you were doing it. People were arguing about why that was stupid and why they would never do that.
Right.
But, but when you actually watch the movie, it's like, oh yeah, they did it because if they came in any lower, then they would, then the EMP would take out their helicopter.
Oh, right. Yep. Good point.
But so I don't know. I mean, I think things get put in out of context.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they had to have like the red smoke attached to their foot to make a little like stripes of red stripes going down. I just didn't understand why that.
So they could see each other because they were in like a bunch of fog and stuff.
Okay.
Well, do you remember the trailer for Terminator 2? And Arnold Schwarzenegger is pointing this handgun and he says, "Hasta la vista, baby," and then he shoots, and the Dyson Corp or whatever, the building with Skynet in it explodes when he fires the handgun.
Yeah, they mix things together that don't go together just to trick the audience, and I get that.
Or to do another Godzilla movie, Godzilla 1998, right, with Matthew Broderick. So that one had a preview with completely false stuff in it, just to sort of take pot shots at Jurassic Park.
Right? Oh, right. The teaser trailer, right?
Yeah, that teaser trailer where all these kids are in a tour of a museum of natural history and talking about the greatest dinosaur that ever lived, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And then Godzilla's foot stomps on it through the roof of the building. And that when you watch the movie, that scene doesn't make any sense. It's not in the movie, and it doesn't even make any sense because they had evacuated Manhattan.
Yeah. I think it was just meant to be like a teaser kind of thing. Yeah, but I agree. I mean, sometimes teaser trailers, they don't really show things that are actually in the movie.
Yeah.
It's just meant to generate hype.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to whenever they're going to release a trailer for Hellraiser, if they will release a trailer, because, they do that for streaming stuff. So hopefully.
Was there a trailer for Books of Blood?
I think so. Wasn't there?
It seems like it came out really short on the heels of the movie coming out. Right?
Yeah, it might not have been a trailer.
Week or something between the trailer and the actual movie coming out.
Well, for Hellraiser, I'm sure they'll make a trailer. I'm sure they'll hype it. I'm sure this might have a limited theatrical run because it's going to be Hellraiser,
Yeah.
and they want to make this like it's a big franchise. So I'm sure they're going to
Yeah.
want to make sure it's out there for everybody, and it's going to generate a lot of interest for like the Hellraiser franchise. So that's going to be cool.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully it comes out on Blu-ray, because it would be the first one that you can't buy, and
Yeah,
yeah, I hope.
I
All
hope so
right.
too.
This is another quick thing that we talked about earlier, but I wanted to mention it again really quick. In our official news capacity, Phil and Serra made a comment on our Clive Barker listeners group, Facebook group, replying to our discussion about short stories and stuff. And we were talking about Pigeon and Teresa, and they said, yes, Ryan, it will be, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it open right now, but it will be included in the new upcoming short story collection. Which is right now tentatively titled Fear Eternal.
Awesome.
So I'm really looking forward to that, and I think what I'm looking forward to the most is that it seems like it's going to be a collection of all those short stories that never made it into the Books of Blood, or a dedicated Clive Barker book, right? They're all in anthologies that include other authors.
Right. From all the interviews that Clive has spoken and all the things that we've heard about that would be a compilation of those little short stories, like, Animal Life and Lost Souls probably. And yeah, that sounds great because, some of these books are hard to track, so that would be a good place to have all of that together.
Yeah.
If you're a completist about Clive Barker.
Coming to Grief, Hermione.
On Amen's Shore.
And the Moon, yeah. Yeah, so
they deserve to be together.
Yeah, I know short story collections are probably not the easiest to get publishers on board with, but I really hope that it gets published soon. Really looking forward to that one.
Yeah. Let us know when that comes out. I'm sure you guys will announce it, Phil and Serra.
Yeah, Phil and Serra had also have been posting a lot of news about different editions of Barker books that are new prints for different countries.
Sure.
Yeah. So you've got one here about an Italian release.
Yes. So Daniele Serra, who has done a lot of artwork for the Hellraiser comic books, he's worked with Barbie Wilde, I believe, for his Venus Complex cover. Yeah. He's worked with a lot of stuff, but he's also made a cover for an Italian release of the Books of Blood. So it's out now in Italy. It's by Grupo Editoriale Fanucci, and it looks like an amazing cover. It's just this lady in a black dress with her hair kind of flowing up.
Oh yeah.
And it says Clive Barker, Libri di Sangue. It says volumes 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a cool cover. Always nice to see Daniele Serra get recognition and making a book cover because I love his art.
His style is amazing, and it's so unique. You always know it right away when you see it. And he had done portraits of like Candyman and
like Pinhead.
Yeah, Pinhead, I think.
Yeah, Cenobites.
Yeah.
Right.
In other Clive Barker news, this is kind of sad, and you had gotten this from his Facebook group, right? Eric Webb, who he was an intern for Clive Barker, right?
He was an intern shortly for Clive Barker. I believe he also developed a theatrical adaptation of, a theater adaptation, a play adaptation of Hellraiser. And, I got to meet him a bunch of times. He stayed at my house a couple of times.
Yeah, I met him in 2011 at Clive's office. Okay. When I went there.
So he helped out with some adaptations that they developed in-house that I don't think they ever really managed to develop. But he was a great guy. He was a writer. He loved stand-up comedy. I think he had began an improv group in his hometown in Oklahoma. He kind of created the whole improv scene over there where he was from. Yeah, and like I said, I hosted him in my house a couple of times for a few days when he was traveling. And we had great conversations. And he was such a great, big-hearted guy. Yeah. And I just, I was so sad to hear that unfortunately he passed away due to sepsis. There is, we have a little link to his Facebook profile where I believe his fiance actually left a message announcing that he had passed away. There is a GoFundMe there if you want to help with the funerary expenses, because he was home for the last month or so, sick, fighting sepsis with his family and his fiance. And there were a lot of medical expenses. So if you want to pitch in, you got the link there on the Facebook. I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss you, Eric. You were a great guy.
That's terrible. What a shame.
Yeah, he was way too young.
Yeah. Yeah, younger than you and I, right? By quite
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. He had health issues and didn't make it.
Simon Bamford on May 12th was on on a podcast adapted to screen, talking about Hellbound Heart versus Hellraiser. Right.
So I saw that on Simon's profile. I didn't get a chance to listen to it just yet. It's like maybe 82 minutes. I've put the link on the notes for the podcast episode. And it should be interesting. It says, in this episode, Richie and Phil are joined by actor and Cenobite Simon Bamford. We get some behind-the-scenes info about the cult classic Hellraiser whilst comparing it with the book Hellbound Heart. Very exciting episode. So, give that a try.
Yeah.
It's always nice to hear them talk about, all this stuff.
That topic kind of reminds me of when Mark Miller was talking to us about Hellraiser, when he was writing Hellraiser The Toll, and trying to decide whether he wanted to base the events of that book off of the Hellbound Heart or off of Hellraiser. And the first draft that we got in the advanced reader copy actually had mixture of both in there.
Yeah, and then he asked us some questions, and we gave him some info on the mythology and the lore of Hellraiser, and I think some of those made it into the final draft, which was nice. And
right. You mean even
humbling.
simple things like her name's not Kirsty Cotton, right? She had a different last name because she's not related to Rory. And Julia had a knife instead of a hammer.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, I know it's hard because, once you read the book and you watch the movie, they kind of melt together in your head.
Yeah.
But there are several major differences, even though the essence of it is always the same. But if you're trying to make a continuation to the novel, you have to follow the continuity of the novel, right?
Yeah. Oh, Peter Atkins, Day of the Dog. That was from today, right? He just posted that today.
It was. Yeah. 6 hours ago. Yeah.
He posted photos from...
It's from Day of the Dog Company play.
Oh.
He played an illustrated man.
Oh,
and so if you see that photo, that's Pete Atkins with longish hair showing his back. And all the stuff on his back, that amazing artwork, was actually hand-painted by Clive Barker when they were producing the play. And another picture there is Lynn Darnell, which I think was the Lynn that married Doug Bradley eventually.
Right.
Yeah. It's Lynn and Peter in kind of a compromising pose.
Yeah.
In Day of the Dog.
Yeah. And so you have on here, Happy Birthday, Robert Englund.
Yeah. I mean, hey, why not? Robert Englund is a great guy, and he's been in movies with Doug Bradley, and he's such a cool icon.
All right. Well, there we go.
So
there's your 6 degrees of separation, or maybe
his
2 or 3 degrees.
Right. His birthday was on the 6th of June, so I just decided to put it there like on Monday. Hey, happy birthday, Robert Englund.
Yay.
That's always nice. Freddy Krueger scared the crap out of me when I was a kid, when I saw the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
I could not sleep with my hands out of my bed for months.
I didn't watch that until I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Clive Barker and Nightbreed were my very first horror movies, I think.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, and then after that, I started working my way. It's like, well, if this is what I missed out on, what else is there? And started working my way through stuff.
It was the gateway.
Yeah. But, it's tough when you start with Clive Barker first, because other stuff is not as good, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, you can start comparing things, and it's like, some things are different. Some things feel like they're not as good. Others just feel like different,
Yeah.
And
it's like when I saw Dawn of the Dead, and I'm like, oh my God, I love zombie movies. I have to see more of these things. And after you see the Romero ones, all the other ones are like, they're okay. They're not as good as, the Romero movies.
Yeah, it all depends on whether you're one of those people who wants the modern stuff, and then when it looks at the old stuff, goes like, "Hey, those zombies' makeup is just ridiculous. Look at them." It's like, yeah, but back then it was the thing, it was cool.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Peter Atkins, he has a new collection arriving by Halloween. All Our Hearts Are Ghosts and Other Stories. Was that
Yes.
a new collection? Well, I think he was also bringing back an old collection in that same post, right? There was like a reprint of an old collection, and there was something new all announced at the same time.
He was talking about another author, 20th anniversary reissue from Shadow Ridge Press, which was from Mike Lester's An Occasional Dream.
Yeah.
But this new collection from Pete Atkins is going to be put out by Shadow Ridge Press for the trade paperback and Encyclopocalypse Publications, ebook and audiobook as well. So it's going to be cool if you want to read it, listen to it, put it on your Kindle, own the trade paperback. You'll have all three options.
All Our Hearts Are Ghosts and Other Stories.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm looking forward to that.
You can never have too much Peter Atkins. He's such an amazing author. I've really been getting a lot more into Peter Atkins lately. And so I do recommend this stuff because he's an amazing writer. So
and he's also super humble, so he doesn't promote his own stuff very much. I mean, even this one, he had to like nest it into promoting somebody else's work.
Well, he definitely deserves the recognition because he's done a lot of good stuff. He's even been, a major force behind Hellraiser, to the Hellraiser movies, because he wrote scripts and he had a lot of ideas that went into the movies, especially the sequels. So, don't underestimate Pete Atkins at all. He's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. So, and I still have Moontown. I ordered that, and so I need to buckle down and read it.
Yeah, it's a great Halloween book.
I'm looking forward to it. Pennywise, The Story of It, official trailer released on June 6th. So that's relevant because our good friends over at
Cult Screenings UK.
Yeah, who also made the Leviathan, the story of Hellraiser and Hellraiser 2, are making this movie. So it's going to be thorough.
Yes, it's going to be in the same vein as the other documentaries that they've done.
Yeah.
So they are also the company. Another producer is Dead Mouse Productions. They also do The Offer with Cult Screenings. Yeah. The Offer that you can find on Amazon Prime Video.
The Offer and all the Dark Ditties movies that are the sequels to that.
Yep. Yeah.
That star that star like a Hellraiser reunion cast, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. They always make great documentaries about these movies. They get a lot of cast and crew into their interviews. They get a lot of behind the scenes pictures and stuff. So it's great. I hope you were one of the backers for this. If you're not, I'm sure you'll be able to get a copy through their website. So go check out the trailer, because it with Tim Curry playing Pennywise is definitely an icon of horror from our teenage years.
I have read the book and I saw that series when it was on TV, and I think but that was a long time ago. So I still haven't watched the new 2-part It.
I've seen the first part. I haven't seen the second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're on HBO Max, so I should watch them. I just haven't gotten to it.
But man, you've read the book then, huh? That big brick of a book? Jeez.
Yeah.
I've never read the book, no.
Yeah, it's like a cube.
Jeez,
it's like James
enormous.
Clavell's Shogun. Did you ever read that book? If you've ever
read
I love
that. Shogun.
Yeah, man, that book was like a cube also, and the copy that I had was all kind of old and beat up, like it belonged to my parents. And so as I was reading it, the pages would fall out. And then one time I dropped the book on the floor and the pages just scattered everywhere.
Oh, no.
And so I was like, okay, I have to give up on this.
You just gave up.
Yeah.
You didn't think, now this book is turning into a puzzle. Great, let's put it back together.
Yeah, with like 1,000 pages.
Yeah. I haven't read Shogun, but I remember seeing the miniseries.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. And
It's
I
very
read
good.
probably the first third of the book.
Richard Chamberlain, right?
Yeah. Cinematery? What? Why do you put this in here?
Cinematary presents
France.
Night. Yeah, it's the mixture between cinema and cemetery.
Yeah.
Saturday, June 18 at Majestic Theaters, Phoenix in Tempe, Arizona. Come celebrate one of the most influential figures in horror, Clive Barker, and help us raise money for local LGBTQ plus youth group home, Mulligan's Manor. So they're going to have an epic raffle benefiting the manor, featuring tons of horror-themed prizes, a killer Dr. Decker cosplay,
Oh.
as well as Nightbreed co-stars Nicholas Bourbon Vince and Ann Bobby joining them live through the web for a post-film Q&A.
Wait, Nicholas Vince and who else?
Ann Bobby.
And really?
Yeah.
She's coming all the way to Arizona. Wow.
No, joining us live via web. That's what I said, for a
Oh.
post-film Q&A.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So there's
you
tickets for the
distracted
night.
me because when you said Nicholas Berman Vince, it sounded like you said bourbon.
Oh, no.
So then I lost everything else after that.
You were like, bourbon?
Yeah.
No, Nick Vince and Bobby joining them live through the web for post-film Q&A.
That's
and
awesome.
You can check out some of the prizes in the post. And you can also buy tickets for the Nightbreed screening and the Q&A available at the Majestic Phoenix in Tempe. So it's always great that they're going to be screening Nightbreed. It's I get a little tingle every time I hear there's a screening of Nightbreed going on.
Oh yeah, it reminds me of the Occupy Midian days.
I hope it is the director's cut. I'm sure it will be.
Probably. Yes.
Yeah.
Cinema. That just made me think of Kent Brockman going trying to pronounce Kuala Lumpur, and he's like France. Cinematary. Oh, like a cemetery that's in a cinema.
Right.
Okay, I get it.
It's what do you call it? It's where there's two words together. A portmanteau.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a portmanteau.
Cinematary.
Yep.
There's a group up here in Fairbanks that they took moose and mustard and put them together because they make mustard, right?
Mustard.
Well, yeah, and so, but if you say moose turd, they get really mad at you.
Because it sounds like you're turd.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's moose tard. It's like, well, I don't say mustard.
It sounds weird both ways, to be honest.
Yes, they probably shouldn't have named it that to begin with.
That second syllable is very unfortunate. So that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, one time I was helping out with a local farm like online raffle thing or a raffle thing, and they were donating. So I went over to their office and I said moostard, and they got they got mad at me.
It's a local pride, huh?
Yeah.
Local pride. Okay.
Yeah.
I miss being in Arizona because I would totally go to this screening at the
yeah?
Majestic Theaters in Tempe because that wouldn't have been too far from where I live. Arizona Avenue. Oh, yeah, I think I know where that is.
Oh man!
Wow, I would have loved to have gone there, but hey, I got a lot of Nightbreed where I'm sitting right now, so that's also good. So yeah, go check that out if you're around the Arizona area, especially the Phoenix area, and you can help LGBTQ plus youth with the raffle.
Man, I want to go to that, except that I don't live anywhere near Arizona.
You spent all your miles.
Oh my God. Yeah, I actually have I do have some kind of a ticket, that I couldn't get reimbursed, so I have to use it sometime before March.
Well, this is on the 18th, so 9 days to go for this one. Probably 7 by the time you guys listen to this episode.
Yeah.
Hope you guys make it in time if you're around Arizona.
Yeah, and if you did go, let us know what you thought, how you liked it.
Yeah.
I wish we could get YouTube of like the QA part, that would be cool. Maybe. Maybe it'll happen.
Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. And speaking of appearances by cast members, Days of the Dead 2023. And so we were just looking at this kind of right before we went on air, talking about how many Days of the Dead there are. There's a ton of these things. There's, what is it, like 5 Days of the Dead?
Well, you said, I mean, I know that there's one in Indianapolis, there's one in Las Vegas, and then what are the other ones? There's one in Chicago.
Chicago,
and you said there's one in Los Angeles?
Indianapolis, Chicago, Atlanta, Las Vegas.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot, and there's going to be a lot of interesting people coming to some of these. Let's start with the one that I found first, which thanks to Kyle Hart, who's a great cosplayer that cosplays Hellraiser 4 Cenobites as well as the Cenobite dog.
Yeah.
He sent me this one for Terry Farrell. So she's going to be in Days of the Dead in Las Vegas, happening February 17th through the 19th of 2023. So there's still a lot of time to plan this out.
Yeah.
She's going to be there. She was on Star Trek.
She's great, by the way,
Nine.
because I've been watching Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and she's one of the main characters in that, and she's awesome.
Oh, I think, are you watching it on Netflix?
Yeah.
You know it's going to get out of Netflix, right?
That's why I've been pushing it, trying to get.
Oh, there you go.
I'm all the way to season 5 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as soon as that happens, then I'm going to have to pay for Paramount Plus, and I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah. So she's going to be in Las Vegas on the weekend of 17 through the 19th February 2023. And then there's more people like on that same weekend in Las Vegas, the Days of the Dead. You can also get to meet Andrew Robinson.
Yay.
He played Larry and Evil Frank with the skin of his brother. Yeah. And he's also Child's Play 3. He was in they put him on Hellbound Hellraiser 2, but I don't think he was actually in Hellbound Hellraiser 2.
No, that's a mistake. And he was in Dirty Harry movies, right? I forget.
Dirty Harry.
Yeah, Dirty Harry, the first one.
Isn't he like Scorpio or whatever his name is? Yeah. I forgot. Yeah, Scorpio Killer.
He makes a pretty good bad guy.
Oh, absolutely. He's also in Cobra, is in Pumpkinhead 2, and is Aleem Garak in Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yes, he is. He's a Cardassian spy sort of a person who runs a tailor shop on Deep Space Nine.
He's one of the good Cardassians.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of, yeah. And also another artist is going to be at Days of the Dead, but this is going to be Days of the Dead Indianapolis, and that's September 9 through the 11th of this year, 2022, in Indianapolis. So it's going to be Bob Eggleton. I guess he did the cover for Infernal Parade, the Clive Barker book, but he's been an multi-award winning artist.
And Tortured Souls. I think he did both of those.
Oh, yeah. He's amassed 9 Hugo Awards, 12 Chesleys, a Rondo Award, and the Mangled Skyscraper Award over the course of his career. So,
what's a Mangled Skyscraper Award?
That's a good question, Ryan. Let's let Google answer that one.
Yeah.
Pretty Special Effects Award, Godzilla Society of North America. The Mangled Skyscraper Award is designed by SPFX model maker Gene Rizzardi, given to people having made significant contributions to the Godzilla/Kaiju Eiga genre. So awesome. He won an award for that. I'm sure he must have painted some Godzilla covers. Or
Eiga just means movie.
Oh, is that? Okay, cool. Yeah. The more you know. Yeah. And Doug Bradley, right? Doug Bradley's also going to be in Days of the Dead. And what is that?
I think he was going to be in the Las Vegas one, right? With the Hellraiser 3 cast? Or no? Well,
Days of the Dead Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's July 22nd through the 24th of 2022. So next month.
Coming up really soon. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've announced that Doug Bradley's going to be there.
I should start at Days of the Dead Alaska.
You should. Yes.
Yeah.
Get in touch with them.
Yeah. Put it in Anchorage or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Because we're an underserved time zone in the United States.
Well, you live all the way over there in the north.
Yeah.
And everybody has to fly a bunch to get there. So
yeah, that's expensive, and that's why that kind of stuff doesn't happen that much.
Yeah. But so that's cool. Andy Robinson, Terry Farrell, Doug Bradley, Bob Eggleston, and exactly 3 different events, right? Because it's Bob Eggleston's going to be there in September of 2022, but the Indianapolis event for Days of the Dead that has Doug Bradley is a different date. Wow. Okay. How many times do they do this all over the year?
I don't know.
Yeah. So there's one in Indianapolis in September. There's one in Indianapolis also in July of this year.
Yeah.
Wow. It just keeps going. That's great. For people who are into the whole convention culture circuit thing, I wish I could do that. But I think I'd get tired of all the people.
Yeah. Well, during Occupy Midian, I went to like 4 of them.
Yes.
It was fun.
Yeah. I enjoyed going to the Texas Frightmare.
Yeah. So that's kind of it for our news. And our next part, topics from the community. I think this is actually just one topic that kind of merged into a couple of platforms here. So Lyndon Carroll in our Occupy Midian group had asked if there was a difference between the theatrical cut that you get from Shout Factory in that limited release and the theatrical cut that Arrow released for Europe. So some people are saying that the Arrow release is not as good as the Shout Factory release. And I don't know, it's something about the aspect ratio or maybe that it's not in 1080p. So there's a link that I put in the show notes to an article that compares the two.
Okay.
By Capsaholic.com.
What are they comparing? So they're comparing the Blu-ray releases in what sense? Like the quality of the screenshots or the aspect ratio?
It's a bunch of statistics about each one.
Okay, that's a little too far beyond the scope of my abilities. Yeah. I don't care that much about whether or not this one has a different format than the other. I guess
no, it's not just it's like they've got the bit rates and the frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
And the ratio.
Wow. That goes to a lot of detail then.
Yeah, the audio codec.
Sure. I mean, there's people who obsess about this stuff. I'm not, I don't really go to this level. If I enjoy it and I'm watching it, that's fine. I can enjoy it in standard definition. I can enjoy it in high definition, whatever it is. I'll just get into it, like I collect VHS for Christ's sake.
Yeah. So then there's another Lyndon, or probably more likely the same Lyndon, Lyndon 85, wants to make a fan edit of Nightbreed that's faithful to the original script, leaving out all of the stuff that's reshoots.
So which script does he mean?
I would imagine probably the second draft. That's kind of like the go-to one that, and what I would say to that is everybody that went in trying to do that started realizing right away that there's a lot of really good stuff that they didn't want to lose. It's in the reshoots. Right, you lose Shuna Sassy and Leroy Gom and Devil Lude. You lose John Agar. That whole scene of John Agar in his shack and stuff.
Sure, yeah. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah. Someone already tried doing that weird 3-hour version, and it's it's all right. I mean, I wish him luck. I mean, it sounds like he's tackling a pretty big task, and it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun for him. Yeah. So, hey, keep us posted on that project, Lyndon.
Yeah, but I mean, even making the director's cut, Clive Barker realized that there was some of that stuff he wanted to keep. I mean, a big problem with the theatrical cut is not that the reshoots; it's the fact that it was edited in a way to make it more in sort of an action movie and a slasher film.
Right. Yeah. I just can't condone piracy. I mean, he's asking for a rip of the Blu-ray on Reddit. So
yeah,
Lyndon, just buy the Blu-ray. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just try to buy the Blu-ray and do your cut from there. Don't try to ask for piracy in the Clive Barker Reddit. Anyway, that's my take on it. I hope you have fun doing this and keep us posted.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on the Clive Barker Reddit.
Coming next, this kind of leads into what we're going to be doing. So we had said before we were going to skip V for Vice Versa because it's about Clive Barker movies. And then that made me realize, we talked about this a little bit in our chats, but we never actually did an audio commentary for the theatrical cut of Nightbreed. Because when we started doing these audio commentaries, the director's cut was brand new. And we're like, heck yeah, we want to do that. You know, now I think it's probably a good time to go back and revisit the theatrical cut, the one that started it all. You know?
It's time. It's time. Oh, that's going to be a trip because I don't know that I've seen it in over 10 years.
But now we can watch the high definition Blu-ray that came with the limited edition from Shout Factory.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. Yeah,
I don't know. That. I never actually watched that. You know, I always meant to, but it was always like, I'll do it later. You know, because
it's a subsect of the director's cut. I mean, if you've seen the director's cut, you've seen the entirety of the scenes from the theatrical cut. So I never really felt the need to go back to the theatrical cut.
Yeah.
But there might be some interesting stuff to talk about for the theatrical cut. Like, why is it the way it is? Why do certain elements of the story don't seem to make a lot of sense? Why is the ending the way that it is? And what did this theatrical cut spawn in terms of comic book tie-ins and comic books in the 90s, right?
Yeah. Oh, video games. There are two
video games and stuff like that. Yeah. That might be interesting on that angle alone. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it'll be interesting to go back and hear those voices again. You know, like the guy who did Doug Bradley's voice and
the German guy.
Yeah.
And the crazy coffee lady.
Yeah.
Doing the voice of Rachel.
Yeah.
It is forbidden.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And we can sort of reminisce about arguing with people on Occupy Midian, like, no, those are not their voice. That's not Doug's voice.
Oh, man. Good times. Good times.
Like, I like Doug's original voice better than his new voice. Like, that's...
Oh, my gosh. Well, don't feel bad. For a short time... when I found out about Nightbreed, I didn't realize that it was Doug Bradley playing Lylesburg. So,
I don't think I knew that until quite a ways after.
Yeah, until I saw the Nightbreed, the making of the film, no, it was the Nightbreed Chronicles that I first found out.
Yeah. Same exactly. When I bought Nightbreed Chronicles, I'm like, oh, you know, and starting to read the the Dark Fantastic and the Shadows in Eden, and putting it together that, you know, this is a group of people that Clive likes to work with from the past, you know, from
his high school years. Yeah. That was a good book. That was a book that really got me to know a lot about Clive Barker's backstory and his life and, the stuff that he did and some stuff that I hadn't even read at that point, because I did get that book early in my collecting. It was a very hard and expensive to find book in Portugal.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. It wasn't easy imported. To find in the U.S. It must have been really hard to find in Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have more news episodes, more interviews. We'll continue on with the A to Z commentaries, and if we can ever come up with a date to do Jericho Squad again, we'll do that too.
The summer is busy because weekends in the summer for a lot of people, they get a little more activities going on, so it's hard to get the squad together.
It sure is. Yeah. Well, and Rob and I were supposed to be on this trip together, and now Rob is going, but I won't be there. And so, but we still need Rob. I can't, so I can't just well, guess what? I'm back. So now we can do it when I'm not on my trip. It's like, no, because Rob's still there.
Yeah. You got your brother in your D&D game, and I got my Eurythmic brother in my D&D game. So
that's right. Yeah.
We should have gotten Rob to play him too, but that would be too much.
Or Raul.
Yeah. That would have been fun. Hi, Raul.
Does he listen to our podcast?
I don't think so. No, unfortunately. No, I don't think he has.
None of my family listens to my podcast.
Hey, great. We can talk trash about our family.
That's right. Yeah, we'll just call it the Talking Trash About Your Family podcast.
Yes. Okay. Before you start getting some me talking trash about my family, let's wish our listeners, hope you guys have a happy weekend. And if you're into the whole convention thing, I'm sure there's a lot of cool events for you guys to plan and buy tickets for.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and things are starting to open up again. You know, and although apparently COVID is like all over the place.
It's still there. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I got it once. I don't want to get it again.
Yeah.
I'm vaccinated, so.
This is my first. Yeah, I have the vaccine and the 2 boosters. And this is my
2 boosters.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is my first time getting COVID.
I don't have a second booster. I need to work on that.
Oh yeah, and well, there's supposed to be a 3rd one, isn't there?
God knows.
Yeah, I know. It's like everybody just got tired of COVID, so they've decided that it's not a thing anymore.
Yes.
Until it hits you right in the face and ruins your vacation and.
Yeah, your family reunion, unfortunately. Yeah. I hope you feel better soon, buddy.
Thank you.
And my best to Jennifer and Joel as well, because it can't be easy. This podcast having no beginning will have no end.
Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have subscribed. You can find the Clive Barker podcast wherever you find audio. Show notes for this episode, as well as news and reviews, can be found at our website at www.clivebarkercast.com. The Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial podcast and blog that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Inc. This is a labor of love by the fans for the fans. Watch for our annual Kickstarter fundraisers to get some cool stuff, and you can buy t-shirts on our TeePublic store. Go to tpublic.com and search for BarkerCast.
Thanks for listening.